Prime Minister Narendra Modi of India and the US President Donald Trump were said to have shared a very great friendship when Mr. Trump became the President of the United States for the first time. Then the media wrote or spoke about the chemistry between two nationalists, Prime Minister Narendra Modi and President Donald Trump, who were striving to make their own respective countries great. But at present, Prime Minister Narendra Modi and President Donald Trump are at loggerheads. That was after President Donald Trump imposed huge tariffs on imports from India into the United States. Now that chemistry is no more there, that relationship has been broken. The friendship between India and the United States, built painstakingly by previous presidents of the United States, has been broken definitely. The colleagues of President Donald Trump have contributed to vitiating the atmosphere, especially his special trade advisor Peter Navarro. Then the Commerce Secretary of the United States, Howard Lutnick, also contributed to this worsening relationship. But all on a sudden, it seems that things have taken a turn for the better. Now, Trump has praised India and Prime Minister Narendra Modi on his social media platform. But there is a fair degree of disbelief in India. India's diplomatic community, India's politicians, and even the common man refuse to believe that Trump has really changed. Trump is seen as a capricious politician in India nowadays. Nobody is willing to take his words at its face value. There are people who even think that Prime Minister Narendra Modi, who responded warmly to the posts of President Trump, has been entrapped. What is the reality? Let's take a closer look into the recent developments in regarding India-US relationship. Welcome to Insights. I am Hari Kumar. As I said, of late, one fine morning, US Commerce Secretary Howard Lutnick again started criticizing India vehemently. But a few hours later, President Donald Trump wrote nice things about India on his social media platform. And people actually couldn't believe that. He wrote I will quote his words, "I will always be friends with Narendra Modi. He is a great Prime Minister. We just have a moment of or occasion." So he was just saying that he shared a great friendship with Prime Minister Narendra Modi, but he was not happy with certain things Prime Minister Narendra Modi is doing at present. This is what he hinted. And Prime Minister Narendra Modi responded very warmly, actually. He said on his social media platform, Modi wrote that India and US had a very positive and forward-looking, comprehensive and global strategic partnership. So people think that Modi might have fallen into the trap of President Donald Trump. People don't want Modi to reciprocate so easily. Many in India believe that President Donald Trump responded positively because he realized the dangers in India moving closer towards China. Recently, during the visit of Prime Minister Narendra Modi to China to take part in Shanghai Cooperation Organization, India and China entered into certain agreements, or both President Xi and Prime Minister Narendra Modi held talks. Their body language you know, reflected the newfound friendship. Again, President Vladimir Putin engaged in a very, in a secret talk with, a long talk with Prime Minister Narendra Modi. All those might have unsettled the United States. The United States might not have thought about, such a reaction. Actually, the U.S. Commercial Secretary said India will be forced to repent for moving close towards China. Then he again said India is going to, approach US within 2 months with apology. So this was perhaps the, thought. This was what US think tank might have calculated, but things didn't go in their way. Actually, there is no goodwill for the United States among the public in India. The US needs to realize that. Actually, it is the BJP that has taken lead in changing perceptions about the US among the minds of Indian public. The US is not popular among any followers of any political party in India. There is no goodwill for the US in the minds of public. The US, of course, is seen as a developed country. Their achievements in science and technology are appreciated. But nobody in India thinks that the US is India's friends. They have not forgotten what the US has done to India. People still remember the lavish help given by the United States to Pakistan during all previous Indo-Pakistan wars, right from the Bangladesh Liberation War and even before that 1965, etc. So people are not willing to take words of President Donald Trump at its face value. This is a problem for the US. Actually, Prime Minister Narendra Modi's friendship towards President Donald Trump has changed perceptions of the US in India. A Prime Minister like Narendra Modi, a party like the BJP, is responsible for the changing perceptions on US in India. And Mr. Donald Trump has actually destroyed all those perceptions. Now the question is Modi really naive? Was he wrong in calling President Donald Trump my friend? So he is being mocked in India by his own partymen. Even the sympathizers of the BJP or even the followers of Sangh Parivar in India have raised the doubt that actually Modi has been fooled by the United States. So against this backdrop, now it is going to be very difficult for even Prime Minister Narendra Modi, to bring the relations back to the previous sphere. I don't think it is going to happen in any soon. It will take some time because people nowadays see President Donald Trump as a redneck. He is seen as an arrogant white person. Then again there is a problem. He is seen as a mercurial leader who cannot be believed because he says one thing in the morning, he absolutely rebuts that by the evening. Earlier he was trying desperately to claim that it was he who brought about a truce between India and Pakistan during Operation Sindoor. All those claims were dismissed by the government of India. There are people who believe that Prime Minister Narendra Modi should not have responded warmly to the words of President Donald Trump because nobody knows what he is going to say then very next day. He may still abuse India. So this is the perception. But I think why Modi responded warmly. After all, US is the biggest economy in the world. US is a democracy. So China has never helped India. And there is a direct conflict between India and China. If India cannot believe the words of the US, The same applies to China also. I think Modi might have considered all those aspects. I feel that that was a diplomatic response. He might not have believed the words. Because Donald Trump responded positively, Prime Minister Narendra Modi also responded in a similar manner. There is no need to read too much into his words. This is what I feel. But anyway, I think India needs the US and the US also needs India. It won't be easy for the US to counter China without the help of India. There is no country in the world which has experience in fighting China. India, it is true that India lost 1961 war with China, but thereafter there was no full-scale war. There were skirmishes, there were standoffs many times. 1967, there was a standoff in which 700 Chinese soldiers were killed and around 300 Indian soldiers were killed. And even of late, India has stood up to the challenge of China. So here is a country that has got experience in directly, taking on China. No other country in the world has that. India has also got a huge army, that military. So I am sure that for the US, China is going to be a puzzle. If they want to piece in that puzzle, definitely they need the help of India. And Trump might have been advised by his saner colleagues about that. India knows that very well. India is not going to take Trump's words at its face value. But I think, despite the differences of opinion, engagement between India and the US will go on. So let's see how in the coming days the situation changes. Meet you with updates. Till then, goodbye.